So I'm going to give you a complete guide here, and anytime you need to caulk, seal, silicone, anything inside your home, you're going to know exactly which product to use. So despite the fact there's literally thousands of these products out there, we can really understand everything that we need to know with these 6 products. We start on one end of the extremes with just 100% silicone, all the way to the other end with 100% acrylic latex caulk. But let's not beat around the bush here. 95% of the time, I am going to use DAP Dynaflex 230. It's going to be perfect for moldings, windowsills, caulking a toilet to the floor, tile backsplash in the kitchen or bathroom. A lot of professionals choose this product. I'm going to quickly run you through why it is superior to the other products. We'll also cover that 5% of the time where you're going to want to pick one of these other products. And if you end up using this, it can lead to a huge disaster. So the reason why I like this product so much, it's got everything going for it. It's flexible, you can paint it, and it's very sticky if you need to glue things together. When we think about the flexibility here, the most flexible is going to be 100% silicone. If we look at a bead of that, it holds together very nicely. You come to the far end of the spectrum here, 100% acrylic latex caulk, and it's not flexible whatsoever. We move over to the Dynaflex here. You take a look at a bead of that, and it's flexible. It's not quite silicone flexibility, but it's definitely not cracking apart like the acrylic. You move one step over to this acrylic caulk with a little bit of silicone in it, and it's slightly more flexible, still going to crumble apart. The flexibility is key here. Think about a toilet situation. You're caulking it to a tile floor. You get a 250-pound man sitting down on that toilet. You best believe that thing is going to be shifting around. This is going to crack. With moldings, say you have a crown molding up along the roof, you're caulking it to the ceiling and the wall. With the seasonal shift between winter and summer, the trusses move around, and you're absolutely going to get cracking if you use 100% latex caulk. The next thing here is, yes, flexibility is great, but you have to consider the paintability, and it really kind of goes hand in hand with that flexible dynamic. So if you look at the silicone, it is the most flexible by far, but you cannot paint silicone. There's a couple things you can do to kind of paint it in terms of priming or coating over it with other products. But ultimately, you're never going to get a great paint result when you're using a water-based paint over silicone. That's where the Dynaflex and these products really shine. If you look at this little sample board here that I've made of each of the products, you can see that all these 4 here paint over beautifully. The silicone is horrendous. It's just streaking. The paint will literally not stick to it. It just flakes right off. And when you think about the paintability, yes, all these ones here are paintable, but there is a big difference between these two and these two. And that comes down to just, let's say you get into a situation where you're doing some baseboards and you want to just caulk the top of the baseboard and you don't necessarily want to paint over that caulking. It is recommended to paint over your caulking, but let's be honest, it doesn't happen all the time. Big difference here. When you look at these 2 products here, have a listen to what they sound like when you rub them. Okay, that's these 2. They're noticeably rough. Look at the Dynaflex here, listen to this. It is quite a bit more smootherly. Where that comes in, you've got your baseboard, you've caulked the top of it, you're not going to paint it, let's be honest. With this stuff here, it's going to be rough, it's going to pick up grease, grime, dirt, very difficult to clean it. With the smoothness of the Dynaflex, it's going to wipe up and clean a lot easier. Final thing to consider here is the stickiness glue factor. If things are going to be shifting around, you're trying to hold a molding to the wall where there's not a bunch of things to nail to, gluing down a countertop, the ability of these materials to stick to things and hold on is going to be paramount. If you take a look at these 2 sample boards that I made up here, I've just used each of the products to glue a piece of wood to this glass tile. You can see with the silicone and the silicone blend, excellent job. A lot of stick left on the bone there. It would not come off. Move over to the far end with the acrylic latex, not a good glue. Both the sticks just pop right off. Into the Dynaflex and the big stretch. Both of those, a lot of stick left on the bone there. They are both good glues. You can see why I like the Dynaflex product. It does everything well. It's flexible, you can paint it. Also good at sticking and gluing. And it's worth mentioning here, the Big Stretch product in all likelihood is just as good as DAP Dynaflex. I recommend this just because I have way more experience using it, but there is that 5% of the time where you definitely need to use silicone. Silicone or a silicone blend is going to be perfect for any time you have to attach like a heavy countertop to cabinets, you're mounting an undermount sink. Anytime you're working in a bathtub or a shower, the stickiness, waterproofness, and flexibility is going to be better than the other products. Now, 100% silicone versus the blended. The 100% stuff is going to smell like vinegar. This is going to have less of a smell. This stuff, the blended silicone, will set up a little quicker. It's not quite as sticky. That being said, I always see professionals using 100% silicone, so that is what I stick to. You also get the added benefit if you need a clear product where you want to hide the seam. The 100% silicone is going to be more translucent than the blended and certainly more translucent than any of the lower tier, less flexible products. And hey, if you want to get better at caulking and not end up hating your life when you're using these products, this is your ticket right over here. And save you just a mountain of heartache in the future. That was way over the top, guy. What am I selling? Slap chops here?